see. Are we live? Ooh. Got my mic. Sure what's going on with the audio here. Get it fixed now, give me a second. Sorry guys. Sorry, a couple of audio issues there for a second. I've got to test it beforehand. That should be right. Right. Should be better. It's late, but I saw you were streaming. I wanted to wish you the best. I hope you and your fellas had a great time in Manchester. We did. Dan, nice for you to pop in. I saw you were streaming earlier as well, but I think as I clicked on it, you just finished. So I hope the stream went well. But yeah, I appreciate it, mate. Hopefully we can get you across for next year and join the crew. It was a good laugh. But no, yeah, late, mate. And if you haven't subscribed already, which I'd like to think you have, then please do so. Same for you, Man of Steel 813. Hi, and thanks for tuning in. We are currently challenging myself because I've got some time. Basically, long story short, I've been laid off work because I'm sick. Won't go into all the reasons why because it's not that important, but there's not really a lot I can do. I'm used to being quite social with my job, and I can't at the moment. I can't do that, and I'm kind of miss that. But the second best thing is to be able to do streams and stuff. So it's a mixture of that and the fact that I've got a little bit more time on my hands than I normally would like. Can do the things I'd want to do, like decorate and paint and do some of the work around the house that I need doing. So I'm kind of like, you know, I am getting some stuff done, but not as much as I'd like. So I have to be really careful. So yeah, I just thought, why not stream? And I thought to myself, I've been trying to push this channel since, you know, it's coming up to 2 years now since we started it, and it's primarily for our show, which is every week, which is my main focus, and that's really all I care about, that being successful and being fun, which it is. So therefore, I've never really needed to push the channel as a whole, because I don't really care about, you know, I'm not a big fan of the whole monetization thing. And a lot of people would, I found that a lot of people seeing a video and seeing the videos that I've sent out talking about trying to get to 1K, seen as one of these videos that people do is like, yeah, if I get 100 likes this, and honestly, I'm trying to do I disagree with those kind of things. I don't like those kind of things, and I feel the opposite. This was more about, sorry, just change that lighting, that's a bit better. This was more about, yeah, just because I had nothing better to do. There's not much else I can do. This is the only chance I'm going to get to try and push the channel by streaming every day and uploading a load more content than I normally would. Once I go back to work, it'll be back to normal. So if I don't do it now, basically, I'll never be able to do it. Like, I can't commit to streaming every night when I'm in work, or uploading content when I'm in work. It's just not possible. So whilst I'm off, I thought, might as well give it a go. Even if we only end up with 10 more subs, it's worth doing. But I just thought, I want to hit a target. I'd like to hit the 1K. Not because I think that really necessarily means anything, but I just think it'd be quite nice to be able to say, yeah, you hit 1,000. And like I said, the channel's been on long enough now that I think it could do that and should do that. It's just that we've never really put any effort into growing the channel. It's done it organically, because obviously it's gotten to the point it's at now without us pushing it, so it's obviously working. But I just thought, let's give it a bit of a push and try some different things. So that's what we're here. So yeah, so I appreciate everybody who's currently watching, whether it's on replay or live. We got most of our extra subs yesterday, not from the content that I pushed out, not from me promoting it, not from me talking about it. Most of the subs from actually going live. So I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 during the live stream. But if not, we'll just have some fun and chat anyway. So bro has a very interesting looking head. Yeah, I've had that a couple of times before, where somebody said I got like a Megamind head. I think it's more to do with the fact that the camera's like up at an angle. So like from that angle, my head looks like it's bigger at the top than the bottom. But it isn't, because when I go like that and put my head straight with the camera, it's about the same. But yeah, I could do a shave in the top a bit though. So obviously I'm bald, mostly bald, but I do grow some hair at the back. But because I've been off work and I just don't really see the point, I haven't bothered doing any grooming. So I haven't brushed my beard for days. I haven't shaved my head. So I'm looking a bit disheveled. But yeah, no, the head is pretty normal, unfortunately. Maybe a bit longer than the average head, but not really unusual. If you see photos of me, it's just a stupid camera angle. It's either this or it's like underneath and lots of chins, but I prefer this because obviously the idea is you guys can see down on the Lego, so it's not really important you see me anyway. But no, thanks for the comment, regardless of what it means. Fair play, you might as well surely keep at it. Yeah, like the new series to gain sub. What's up Timmy? Thanks for joining me. Like, obviously you do this kind of thing all the time, and you know, if I was lucky enough to not have a family and a life and a responsible job and a million other things going on, as well as plenty of other hobbies, then I would probably be doing this even more. But if you look back at my history, all the times when I've either improved my channel, improved followers, or improved subs, or got anything off the ground, has always been while I've been off ill. And thankfully the last 3 times I've had something wrong with me where I've been like laid up at home, it's been stuff where I have been able to stream, thankfully. So one was after a growing operation, one was after contracting sepsis, so I was just at home, couldn't really do a lot. And this case is just recovering from having a lung damage, chest problem, basically. So I can't really do a lot physically, but I can sit here and I can talk. So even that was a struggle yesterday, to be honest. Hives out there lurking. How's it going, mate? So yeah, so today, so far, yesterday we built 11 pieces to the Home One-Man Calamari 7754 Starcruiser. Oops, let me turn that. So we talked a little bit about the set yesterday. We showed off the minifigs, which are all in really good quality, in good condition, considering it was a used set when I bought it. I think I bought it. I think I worked out. I bought it about 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, and yeah. So we had like obviously all the pieces are here. All the pieces are here on the tray, ready to build. And yeah, during the stream, we actually gained 12 subscribers during the stream, but one was after I was about just as I was about to close it down. So we counted it as 11. I was going to count that one today, so it meant we could put together 11 parts from the build. So this is the start of the A-wing that becomes part of the hangar for the build. Unfortunately, which is kind of weird, this seems to happen to me all the time. I get to a benchmark and then kind of drop off a little bit. It's almost like when you do live streams, it's great to get subscribers and to get people's attention on the channel, but also I think reminds some people that they don't need to subscribe because of what I'm doing, which is kind of weird because I've only ever done Lego content. So if anybody's ever come across to me and subscribed for any other reason, or they're like, wow, I liked it when this guy didn't do hardly any content, now he's doing more content, I don't like that, I'm going to unsubscribe. I don't really get that. So I think what it might have been is people have found my channel perhaps early on and thought it might have been something else. I don't know, because like I said, it's always been Lego. And they've seen that I've been doing more content and like, oh, this is annoying, I don't want to see this content, and unsubscribe. That's all I can think of, because we gained 12 subs during the stream. So we went from 311 up to 323. 323, and within about an hour of finishing the live, we actually lost 6 more, and we've lost like we've gained 4 since then, but then lost another few. So it's really hard. Now I was going to just track new subs. So yesterday was 11, and then we lost 6, but then we gained, like, I think it was 4 or 5. So I was going to build 4 more bricks, but then I thought it's going to be really hard to keep a track of that every day. And of course, somebody else mentioned in one of the comments that they could unsubscribe and resubscribe, which obviously I'd just be building the set based on no extra subscribers. So I think really what I need to do to make it easier for me to kind of make a track of, regardless of whether it's new subs or not, because if I lose one, even if I lose someone who I didn't really want as a subscriber because for whatever reason they're not interested in Star Wars Lego, then it's going to cancel out the one. So in my eyes, I think the best thing to do is just count it from the beginning. So what that means is, at the moment, let's just double check it. We started on 311. We're on 318, which means 7 new subscribers, which means I've got to take 4 pieces off this at the end of the stream if we haven't gained those back, which is stupid. So I'm hoping that doesn't keep happening, otherwise I'll be taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back for all eternity, but we'll see what happens. So like I said, I wanted this stream to be like a build-in stream where I can actually build, but I can't build if I don't get the subs, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, so at the end of this stream, which I'm not going to be going for long, probably another 15 minutes or so, I will have to take parts off this, sadly. I mean, I still gain subs, I guess, otherwise I'd be in negative, but yeah, you're right, I might be building it for a long time, but I think it's about the consistency of it. Like I said, I've got another, 10 days before I have to go back to work. And even then I can stream every night if I wanted to. I just choose not to because I've got other things to do. But if it helps to boost things, like yesterday I felt good about it because, like I said, I promoted it, did a little bit of extra content on Instagram and on YouTube, and I just thought, okay, see how this goes. And then, we gained like 2 or 3, but I went live, and within like an hour of going live, well, within the hour that I was live, we'd gained like 11 subs, and I thought, that's great. I'll take that. But, and if it carried on that way, yeah, it might have taken me, still might have taken me a couple of months to do it, but I think sometimes things progress quicker. So like I've noticed on Instagram, for example, within the higher you go, the quicker you build. If that makes sense. So like, I feel like it took me forever to go from 700 to 800 on Instagram. And again, not really doing anything, nothing different to what I was doing before. And then yeah, from 900 to 1,000, it's just been flying. Like every time I look on Instagram, which, you know, while I've been off sick, it's been a lot. It's just like loads of extra followers constantly. And like I said, I don't feel like I'm doing anything different. It just seems to just be like coming out of nowhere. So I'm going to hit like 1,000 on Instagram without even really trying to, which is kind of weird. So I'm hoping it's going to be the same with YouTube, where like as we progress it, and like I said, going live every night should start to, you know, build some momentum, hopefully. But if not, I might have to reassess it and change my change the idea up a little bit. I don't know, but it'll be fun anyway. Like I said, it's not like I've got a shortage of Lego sets to build or anything like that. So we'll see what happens. Feel like I'm losing my voice again though, because this is the most talking I've done for a while, so my chest is struggling a little bit. Feel sorry for me. But yeah, so yesterday we talked a little bit about a few different things, but I wanted to, I've got this huge bag. I don't even know why it's in this bag. I think I just took like non-regular brick pieces out of a bin of Lego that I had. So anything that I couldn't, like, I separated all my parts in that bin into like, you know, white, grey, whatever. And any kind of unusual pieces that weren't, like for example, tyre pieces, I separated into an extra bag as well, even though they're not a colour. And like window pieces and trans pieces and all that kind of stuff. So I separated everything out, and then anything that was kind of left over that didn't really fit into a colour and was a bit either big, bulky, and didn't really belong in any kind of category because they're unusual parts, I put into this big sack. So it's things like ladder pieces. I'm not going to put that in with my yellow parts because it just feels like it takes up a lot of space. And those parts are mainly for like mocking and, you know, stairs and stuff like that. So yeah, but I mean, some of these parts are like from the late 70s, early 80s. So some old pieces in here, and they've barely been touched since then. So I'm just gonna empty it out into this tray and see what we got, and see if there's anything cool or interesting in there. Try and do it quietly as well. Kirsty's in bed. She's getting up early tomorrow to go into Cardiff, capital, do some wedding dress shopping, and hopefully order a wedding dress. She's already found it, we just need to check that the shop she's going in can do a fitting in time for August. Wow, there's some random stuff in here. One thing I did comment on yesterday as well was that there was one of these in there. Now anybody might remember these. So this was part of the Space Police. Was it Space Police set? Yeah, so this is actually 3 separate pieces. So this is from the Space Police set that came out late in mid-80s-ish. It won't focus very well, but you can see it is actual Lego. Nah, it's not focused. Too much light. But anyway, Yeah, so these were the kind of electronic bricks, or they connected to the electronic bricks. So you used to have like a battery power pack thing, just here, and you would put like a 9-volt battery in the bottom, and then clip it closed, and then there was a button on here which activated power. And as long as one of these type of bricks was connected in some way, you can see just the middle ones there on that side and that side have got the thing. But if I remember rightly, they didn't have to fully touch it. They just needed to be touching at least one, so which would give you a little bit of, and then you could build up. You didn't get that many bricks in there. There was normal black in there as well, but you then put like basically just to transfer the power between these until it hit the lights, and the lights would light up and make noise as you press this button, which is quite interesting to be talking about these now because of the smart brick that's come out. And I can remember, bear in mind this is the 80s, so you're talking like, 40 odd years ago. I feel like this technology, I mean, it's not even that much bigger than the smart brick. I know it took a battery as well, but the quality of this and the sound and lights that this gave Lego in the 80s was amazing. So, Suburban Stuntman, how are we doing, mate? Yeah, well, I can't. It's hard to say if I'm feeling better because it's not a temporary illness. Unfortunately, it's not something that's going to get better anytime soon. Hence me being off work. But without going into too much detail, because it's not that interesting. But slow recovery, unfortunately. Just got to wait for tests to come back, and I've got to go for some more tests. But yeah, so. But yeah, thanks for asking. Anyway, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming back as well, mate. Obviously, you popped in yesterday, and I think you were one of our subscribers. So you're the perfect example of the kind of person I'm on here trying to find. New people who can find the channel, because this is classed as a short when you do a live without using StreamYard or anything like that. So it pops up in the feed a lot easier. So most people just scroll past and be like, "What's this bald ginger guy doing? Messing about with Lego, not interested." But hopefully recommended to at least a few people like yourself who are interested in just Lego chat in general. And the idea is once you're here, then you can enjoy some of my short form content that I've been doing, and maybe go and check out my Instagram where there's a lot more content on there about other things I do around Lego. And then even come and check out the show on Sunday, because the show, our regular show, is the baby. Like, it's the main reason the channel exists. So all this is just kind of filler. So but yeah, you're right, the OG smart brick, and I remember it was like bzz, 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 like sound. Obviously, I think the main problem with smart brick is that it doesn't sound like it should sound, and obviously the way it affects the figs is kind of weird. My sort of opinions on that can be seen on my short form content, so go and check that out after this. And I've kind of made fun of it a little bit, but I get it. It's not for me, but I also do figures for kids. Oh, excuse me. Or at least they haven't done a very good job of marketing it for kids, or marketing it to adults who are going to buy for kids. Most of the people who I've seen either buying it or trying it out or whatever are people who either sent it for free or are representatives of Lego, which is not a true. It doesn't give you a true picture of what the sets actually are like, because I always say that a LAN member or whatever saying that a set is good is the equivalent of people saying that a film is good because of it took 10 million in the box office. Because all the box office does is show a representation of how much money the film is taken by people going to see it. There's no representation of how good it was. See what I mean? So a film could take 10 million in the box office. I mean, obviously how good something is subjective, anyway. But in terms of like ratings, you know, how much something takes in the box office is not, it's not a reflection, unfortunately. You know, it could have been marketed quite well, or it could be a sequel to a film that was better before. And there's a lot of things. I think Frozen 2 is an example. Frozen was such a huge hit for Disney that Frozen 2 absolutely blew the box office away because people were just wanting it, but the film was terrible in comparison. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, but obviously for a Frozen movie, it was disappointing. But it flopped generally. But of course, everybody thought it did well because it took so much money, but it's because everybody went to see it. You know, that's not the same as everybody enjoying it. So it's not an accurate representation to have people talking about that. The other thing I did see, there was lots of people saying that and I don't even know why people need to bring this up. I mean, use facts, but also use subjective information. So if you think it's crap, you can say it's crap, and nobody can take that away from you. But people who are going into stores and filming that the shelves are full and saying, "Ha, these aren't selling. Look, the shelves are full." And I'm like, so they must be crap. And I'm like, well, first of all, it's the opposite to the whole film thing. Like some of the best films, like Back to the Future, didn't do well in the cinema. Tron didn't do very well in the cinema. These are like, you know, fantastic sort of films, but they might not have had that initial impact. You know, so it's the same. You know, whether it sells or not isn't a representation of how good it is. So, and also in a case like that where they haven't gone off the shelves, that doesn't mean, because like a guy was filming, I saw a guy doing content and he was filming like how full the shelves were, and he was like, "Look, see guys, nobody's buying them, nobody wants them." And I'm like, no, that just means they've topped it back up. That just means they've filled it back up. I've worked in retail my entire career for almost 30 years, and there aren't many types of retail out there, particularly that, which is classed as brown box in the UK, brown box retail, as opposed to like food or whatever. And, you know, the job is to keep it full and updated, and particularly when you have a new range of products in. So when we have a new range of products in that have been marketed or been sold, all your focus is on them and making sure they're full. Yes, you might be right. They might not have sold and that's why they're full. But you don't know. And with something like that, they would have had so much back stock that they would have just keeping them full. And again, that still doesn't say whether they've sold and have been topped up loads or whether they haven't sold. Still doesn't say whether they're good or not. So taking a picture of how many items are on the shelf doesn't tell anybody anything about whether it was good, whether it's good or not. If you're filming it and you don't think it's good, just say you don't think it's good. Why do you need to show a picture of even the product at this point? Because everybody knows what you're talking about. I can say Smart Play, crap, I'm talking about right now, and you guys can envision what I'm talking about. Don't need a picture of the product. Don't need to show shelves. Don't need to try and justify that reason. It's it's bizarre to me, but you know, sometimes I feel like those people, even though they got the same opinion as me that it's crap, it infuriates me that they're not satisfied to just say it's crap. They've got to try and come up with some horseshit excuse. But anyway, the short of those stickers really appear on the Lego store exterior. Yeah, I don't know what that was about, because I was giving those stickers out left, right and centre at Bricktastic because I had thousands of them. I only was limited on how many sig figs I had and how many tiles I had. But the cards, the Welsh cards and the stamp obviously was kind of, you know, endless. Same with the stickers. I got thousands of those. But yeah, we just happened to pull up at this Lego store and somebody had already stamped it. So crazy stuff. Jeffrey Epstein, U9F. Yo, how you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, so I don't know what happened. I mean, they were popping up all over. To be honest with you, that's just one. I've actually got photos and videos of them up in the Trafford Centre, in the streets of Manchester. Where else did I see him? Oh, in where else did I see him? Oh, around Bricktastic, outside Bricktastic, and the arena, and in the Arndale shopping centre. So if you're up in Manchester anytime soon, keep a lookout in those areas. So what we got in this mixed baggie? So we got some of these guys, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to open this and check this out. I remember receiving these. I'm pretty sure it was my, I want to say, was it my 11th birthday? No. I think it might have been about 9. Now these were brand new at the time. I want to say it was the late 80s. I kept thinking it was my 13th birthday, but I remember my 13th birthday I was in Florida. And by then I'm pretty sure I was kind of lost interest in Lego, because I'd really gotten into kind of other things basically. So, but I can't remember. I remember having these, and I thought I remember somebody. I thought my memory of them is that I had them as a teenager, but it just, I don't know, it just felt like a different time. So I think maybe I was like 9 or 10. Anyway, we got these guys. So these were initially the Technic figures. So like they were slightly more upscale than a normal figure. Which I don't actually have a normal figure here with me at the moment, but you guys get the idea. These are obviously quite a bit bigger. They're more like 3 3/4 inch type figures, probably a little bit smaller than like a Star Wars vintage action figure, but not a lot. They're actually in quite good shape as well, considering how old they are. You know, all the print is still there, because the difference is I didn't play with these like I did the minifigures from earlier years. For 2 reasons. One is because I was at that age then where I just kind of would pose them on whatever, you know, vehicle they had, and then just kind of leave them. Or if, you know, if it was a bike or something, I might kind of ride around, but I wasn't like taking the man off and taking his hair off and taking his arms off and, you know, making like thingies for him to slide down, or burying him in the mud or the sand, or putting him in the bath like I would have done, you know, in my earlier years. So these lasted these, and that was one reason. The other reason is because I didn't actually like them very much. I wasn't a fan of them. I actually thought they were pretty crap. I'm pretty sure this guy's a skier. He had like a set of skis and stuff. I wish it would focus more. I know sometimes people put things on like a bit of a solid background, but a little bit better, but it's still blurring. I don't think the ring light's helping, but let me turn that off. I wonder if it would be much worse. See if it'll focus on it now. I mean, you can still see me, so not that you need to. Yeah, that's a lot better. I mean, it's still not focusing because of me. What I need to have is like a sheet or something something solid colour as a background. Probably a little bit too big, but if I get rid of any background so it's not focused on anything else. Yeah, that's just really awkward to hold up. So that's not working either. But anyway, you get the impression, you get the idea. These guys are pretty cool. I mean, they did have a lot more points of function. Obviously, the feet, you can move the feet. The arms had 2 points. You know, generally they were a lot more versatile, and you could pose them a lot better than you could. It seems to remind me of that Australian hip hop dancer. Anyway, yeah, so there's a couple of these figs, and here we got this guy, we got this guy. Oh, he's missing a foot. This guy is not quite as good a condition. I'm not sure why. Got this guy. Oh, this guy feels. Why is this guy so much more loose? I must have played with this one for whatever reason much more. Maybe this was the first one I got, and then probably my parents bought me a few more, and then realised I wasn't really that into them. I think this was my exit from Lego, I want to say, because I remember up until this point I was buying Lego myself, not regularly, but with my pocket money and stuff. buying different pieces, small sets, and then I think when Technic came out, and I don't know, it was almost like, without saying it, your parents were kind of like, well, you're too old for normal Lego now, so this is the next stage up. And I just took it as, oh, is it? Oh, well, if I can't carry on playing with the old Lego, then I just won't bother at all then. You know, I feel like that was probably my my mentality at the time. So we had 2 black hair guys and 2 brown hair guys, and you know, a little bit disappointed they never had a ginger guy, especially because I was ginger, but just didn't feel included in Lego. But at that point we did have a ginger pirate, so I wasn't that offended. So yeah, I just found the guy's foot and put that back on. So yeah, so those guys were kind of weird. I didn't know how to feel about them because it didn't even look, they looked so different to Lego, and they had noses and ears. I don't know, it was just a different thing altogether. I feel like these were trying to compete with just action figures that were quite big at the time, and trying to compete a little bit with, what are they called? Similar to Lego. Playmobil. Is it Playmobil? Yeah, the sort of GG men we used to call them, but Playmobil figures. It was kind of, feel like it was kind of, not that Lego really needed to, but I guess in the 80s Playmobil was pretty big as well. So I guess they did kind of try to get into that market. And I know it didn't last long, so I don't remember seeing them. This I think is Fabuland, or what later became Fabuland. I don't ever remember it being called Fabuland when I was a kid. But I think what they did is, this was a range of product that they had at the time, and then later on they kind of revived it as Fabuland. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. It was more of a, it's weird really, because even Fabuland was around when I was little. It felt like it went away a little bit, and then it came back, but it was more of a younger kids thing, like a 4+ type age range, or kind of just the next step up from Duplo. So I remember always being a bit like, feeling like it was a bit too young for me, or a bit girly, even though it wasn't. But I do remember using this kind of chassis piece, and there was some connections as well, to make, I don't know how many different cars I made on this thing over the years, thousands. Because we also used to get ones like this. Now this isn't something I've made. This is all connected. Like the wheels come off, but you can see it's got the. And this is one thing I don't get when people say Technic pieces, calling things Technic pieces. Like for me, Technic was a completely different. I get what they mean, is that the introduction of Technic, and then using those on normal Lego sets, people refer to them as Technic. But you know, this piece is from like the 80s, and before Technic existed, you still had these kind of pieces, or these style pieces, they just connected. So that's the original Technic piece there, what later became a Technic piece. It's part of the mold. It's not popped in there. That is like molded onto it, as you can see. So there's no holes or anything on there. It's just part of it. So those connections, or those types of connections, existed before Technic in normal Lego. But they always work really well. And again, this was great for just building, because you already had the chassis there. All you had to do was build on top of that, which was relatively easy to do. You got these, what's this? Oh, this is Lego. Had some of these older door pieces, these larger door pieces. So these would have been for like the Fabuland type creatures. And these tires as well. So you can see without tires, again, it's all connected. This isn't like, it's like solid on the bottom. There's not even, you know, there's not even a, doesn't even go all the way in, because obviously the wheel piece is connected inside there. The metal goes through. These ones you can't take off, though. You can't pop that off. And then there's it with the tyres on. So the only thing you could do with these ones is attach tyres to it. And then obviously with this you could, that's actually quite a handy piece. I should be in my parts. You know, you could just kind of connect this to, I don't know, something like this. and then just make a carve your own or whatever. So those are pretty cool. What else we got here? Some of these are newer pieces. We've just got some like bench pieces, like all in one bench piece. Don't really see that kind of stuff anymore. I think it's more like a friends thing now. Might have adopted that. Oh, there's another one of those dudes. Oh, his foot is actually broken off. That's bad. His foot is broken off, but the connection is broken. So I must have probably been a bit rough with this one. I mean, it's weird though, because I'm looking at my old Lego normal minifigures, and like all the print is scratched off, the face is scratched off, the hands and joints are damaged. But these, apart from that foot, generally in really good condition. So I don't know whether the print was just better, because I do notice that all kids who've had older figs now, because like those had worn off by within the first sort of 10 years of me having them. So they'd worn off by like the mid-90s. They haven't got any more worn now. But I feel like the print improved at some point between the 80s, 90s, whereby it didn't wear off as much. And I think this guy was, because for that to be that damaged, I must have played with it quite a lot. But the print is like flawless, like you'd expect it to look on day one. There's, you know, I mean, even the torso's not very scratched, but generally it seems to be. I think they just made it more durable after a certain time. This guy's got the helmet as well, which is pretty cool because it's just a 100% accurate upscaled version of the helmets that were out at the time, the bike helmets. Like everything about it is exactly the same, just obviously slightly bigger. Like I would say 1.5% bigger or 1.5 up bigger. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean. Got a couple of horses in here as well. Oh, these were for the castle set that we had. I think it was 2 black and 2 white horses for the 2 different factions of the castle. Oh, there's another guy. Jesus, how many of these did I have? I didn't think I had this many. This guy's got a red helmet. I don't remember having this many sets. I remember having a guy who was skiing, and I remember a guy with a bike. But we got like 6 of them now. I mean, 3 of them were in exactly the same top, so maybe they came in one set. I don't know. Yeah, so we got these horses. I mean, back then that's all they did. I mean, I know they have improved slightly since then, but I haven't seen a horse, because I only collect Star Wars now. I haven't seen a Lego horse in person or in hand since these, I don't think. So maybe my daughter might have had some in her earlier sort of friend sets or whatever, but yeah, so she mostly collected Mario. Kirsty mostly collects Disney and botanicals, and I mostly only collect Star Wars, so we don't really see horses or normal animals. So, but these are pretty cool. I like these, and then they usually had the little what do you call it? Should have separated those as well because they're not a regular Lego piece. What are they called? More electronic pieces. What's that thing you sit in? To sit on a horse? My basic language is just lost. Gonna have to go soon as college have asked me to run the light in for a talk in the morning, and then on a workshop. Oh, amazing. Nice one, Lewis. Thanks for popping about. On here, every subscribe. Yeah, of course. If you're here, guys, please go and give me a sub if you're watching. I mean, there's more people watching than commenting, which is usually the case. So, if you're watching, please subscribe. Why can't I think of the word that horse that use? There it is. I can see it, but I still don't know what it's called. Anyway, you put one of these on, and then obviously the minifigure stands in there, make it look like they're sitting. The only problem is they added like a little clip on the side for the lance or like a flag or sword or whatever you want to put in there. And near enough all of those I remember are snapped because they weren't particularly great molds. And that clip piece, always used to break back then. So again, I think Lego, someone else out there might know this better than me, but I think Lego changed the durability of their plastic at some point in the 80s or maybe the 90s, because I remember all of these clips, even just the regular ones that you get in a set. I came across a couple in this Home 1 set. Just trying to see if I can see them. I mean, we didn't have these type of clips then, but you know what I mean. The ones that are similar to this on a single stud, they used to break all the time. All the time. And obviously we were a bit more boisterous with them. So it's, you know, it's hard to compare because back then I was playing with the sets, whereas now I'm not. But I just feel like they used to snap all the time. We didn't have these either. These droid arms didn't exist either then, but those types of connections would snap all the time. And you couldn't replace parts like you can now. So that was your set basically knackered, depending on how important the piece was. I just want to show you these as well. So these are the light pieces I was talking about. So these light pieces are just connected in here. So as long as the electric part was touching that, I believe this is the right piece anyway. Maybe this is from something else actually, because it doesn't seem like it comes down far enough to touch it. But like obviously if you would connect it like that and they would come on. But I don't think it's that, because I'm pretty sure they're all black. We may come across them in here, but I'll keep it separate for now. But yeah, so yeah, I still can't think what the hell this thing is called. Saddle. I don't know, you can tell I'm not well. Not that I've ever been good at remembering basic things, but sad I couldn't even remember Lewis's name. Well, the Lewis bit I didn't struggle with. I was trying to, because everybody else I'd introduced as the handle, you know, the name they were known as, but I completely just went blank on what Lewis's was when we were doing a live stream in Manchester, and for some reason I thought of somebody completely different. So yeah, my bad. But yeah, saddle, Jesus. Yeah, I separated these as well because these used to be pretty cool. You used to see these all the time. You don't really see these anymore. Again, I don't buy city sets, so probably wouldn't know. Legoland as it was called then, just like the door of the fire engine. You know, this would open and there'd be a gap there, which would represent the rest of the window. It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of nostalgic. Takes me back. This was from the castle. So that castle set we had was the second castle set that ever came out. The first one was the yellow one, and then the one after that was the one we had. We had it for Christmas one year, me and my brother, and we played with that thing relentlessly. But this was from there, because this was the string would be wrapped around here, and this would lower the drawbridge. I think, I don't ever, we had a bunch of Star Wars. We had a bunch of those type of sets back in the day. But I remember being kind of bored of Castle quite early on. I tried City a little bit because we had like a what do you call it, the fire engine, fire station, and then like a plane and a couple of City or Legoland sets, and got bored with them. I tried Pirates for a little bit when that first came out in like mid 80s, and I bought a few of those sets, but again, not really. I don't know, I just felt like I was trying to find my niche. Back then, obviously, we didn't have like now where you're like, oh, are you a City person, are you a Friends person? It wasn't that many. You know, there was probably a handful. There was no real licenses then. So it was like Legoland, which is now City. I mean, everything was Legoland then. Anyway, even space was Legoland. But if you define it like it would be now, there was City, there was Castle, there was Pirates. And then, like, obviously, for just the general stuff, there might have been, obviously, you had Duplo and you had, like, Fabuland type stuff. But that was pretty much it. And then Space came out. And Space had been around for a while, don't get me wrong, but it just kind of reinvented itself a little bit in, like, I want to say 1987-ish. They changed up some of the helmets and stuff like that. And it was like, I'd had a couple of Space sets, but I remember when they changed to the newer style helmets, the motorbike style helmets, and yeah, that was the time when Space Police came out, and that got me then. That was what I kind of was drawn towards. But it wasn't like now where, you know, they release God knows how many different sets for any theme. You know, sometimes the same sets would be on shelves for years. So you buy, you know, the 3 that are out, and then that's it then for another 3 or 4 years. So, yeah, but I remember, yeah, again, those space sets and just being enthralled by it because it was probably the closest thing to Star Wars, and I was a huge Star Wars fan. So this is an example of a feature or a type of fitting that we don't see anymore in Lego. So these would have been like the connector pieces. Now they would be replaced by, like, I don't know, lots of different types of things that you see to replace it. Connecting, you know, multiple connection pieces, but these were actually quite versatile, and you could kind of do that kind of thing with them. And then there would be like a connection on the end to add to like a scoop, and the same the other end. This isn't all of it. It was quite long. I think this was from a space set, which was like an Explorer. So had a little yellow spaceman sat on this like all grey type thing, moon buggy type thing, and it had like this kind of arm thing on it, which had a scoop on the end, so you could scoop up moon rocks, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Again, I like that set, but when I say about space changing, most of the sets were either like all white or all grey with like the yellow spaceman sitting on them. It was just like, okay. But then when it changed and they were bringing out like red, green, purple spacemen, blue spacemen, and then they started making them more colourful, and, you know, you're having all these different things, features and stuff. That was when it got cooler for me. There's more helmets. A wagon wheel, not the chocolate bar. A wheel from one of the wagons. I don't really see this kind of stuff anymore either, but these are pretty cool. And they would connect to... what does it connect to? Oh, there's some more of the... Oh, that doesn't connect that. Is there something where this will connect to? Look. Space Police. Yeah, the Space Police sets. The blue and black space with red lights. Ah, they're amazing. And not so much the police, but the bad guy. The Blacktron. What later became Blacktron, but at that point it was just bad guy. You know, space bad guy. He was all in black. And then they changed it up slightly and then made it like its own kind of faction. But yeah, those are pretty cool printed pieces. The print on, that's what I'm saying about, I mean, the print is a little bit tarnished for the age, but it was a lot better than I remember previous prints being. I'm going to see if I can find the same thing that these wagon wheels connect to, a connection piece for them. Because that was a slightly different connection to what you would see now. It was like a pin. Almost like a pin connection. I can't see any here. Maybe there aren't any. Can't see them. But yeah, you can see that the connection for that was a lot thinner. So it's for the smaller style wheels. But prior to that, the wheels were like this. With the metal is kind of in it. And then obviously that's with the tyres on. And when I started seeing like this, I started seeing with where you connect the wheel yourself, and then later it changed to, you know, you still got things like this. These are quite like a lot later, but it got to the point where you could start connecting the wheels up yourself. Another Space Police printed brick. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, it must have been these lights then. I don't know why, but I just remember them being black and red. So I think maybe they were covered with something. Well, they must have had like a piece that went over the top that was like red. Like this trans red piece. Must have been like over the top of them, so the lights weren't actually on the outside of the ship, they were inside. So it would light up red, if I remember rightly. Something like that. I can't remember exactly how it went. A long time ago. There's a hose pipe for the fire engine. So yeah, this was the normal Legoland police. So that was on the kind of side of the police van to put the prisoner in. I don't actually remember this at all, so I don't know whether it looks like an engine block. Whether there's actually anything inside there or not, it's supposed to represent something. This might have been after my time. So basically what happened is all of our Lego went into like a big bin. We had a big Dennis the Menace metal bin, which is probably about, I don't know, 2 foot high. You could use it as a seat because it had a metal top and a cushion. Just all our Lego was in there, and we just dump it out onto a mat and play with it, pack it away afterwards. But when we left home, like obviously it got packed away in the attic when we kind of stopped playing with it in the kind of probably the mid-90s ish, and then I moved out in 1999 anyway, so it probably was up in the attic. But my mum was a registered childminder for years, from before, like from when we were teenagers. So those kids might have been playing with it, and of course my mum was buying the odd Lego set for the kids. So some of the stuff that's in that bin, when my parents finally gave it to me, once I got back into Lego and they realised they still had that bin up in the attic, they were like, well, you may as well have it, it's yours anyway, mostly yours anyway. So, and then I had a field day tipping that out and having reminiscing on some of the parts, and I messed about with it, played with it for a while, but then eventually once all the memories had gone and the reminiscing had ended, I was like, right, time to sort through it and see what I can use from here. And to be honest with you, because it was all older colours, so the older grey, the older dark grey, the older light grey, which you don't really use anymore, so it wouldn't fit into any mocks or anything, the older brown, and like lots of old and damaged, scratched up pieces, damaged minifigures. A lot of it wasn't any good, but I remember there being some parts in there, like this for example, which came a lot later, because everything back then, animals wise, was brick built. If you wanted to build an elephant, you had to build an elephant, and I got instruction booklets with Lego pieces and to show how to build an elephant. These came later. These came in like late 80s, early 90s ones. So I think when my mum was looking after these kids and she would buy them sets and just add it to the big pile that they used to play with. Some of these are theirs. Same with this, like dog head piece. I don't know what the hell this is. Definitely wasn't mine. I am interested to see what happened to my sister's Lego though, because my sister had Paradise sets, and some other like girly type Lego, pink Lego and stuff like that was out all the time. Still classed as Legoland, but it was like Paradise something. I don't know what happened to any of that, because that's not in here. And I know she didn't keep any of her stuff, so this was, I think, a Fabuland piece as well, which I think might have gone on the front of here, like that. It's like that's all one piece. It's just like the front of an old school type, like a 1920s car type style thing. Some of these pieces are being chewed. This is one of my favourite pieces. Is the treasure chest. I mean, these are probably still around in some way, shape or form now. The old Lego treasure chest. And I can actually feel there's some gold doubloonies in there. Yeah. Still some gold doubloonies inside the treasure chest. I wasn't expecting that. So, yeah. Interesting. Wonder how long they've been in then before somebody's opened that, because I haven't opened them since I had this bag. These coins are in really good shape as well. I'm really now realising and remembering that each of the coins had a different, slightly different numbers on. So you got 10, and I'll just show you 2. So this one's a 30. And this one is oops, there it goes. Yeah, 30, and we've got a 10. And this is 20 and a 40 in there just so as well. I remember those coming on like a little spool thing. We had to like pop them off. I don't know what the hell this is. This is something my parents have bought for. My mum must have bought while she was a childminder, because this isn't from anything I know. Got the old rocket firing pirate cannon. Have I got a piece in here that I could shoot? I've just got a single stud that I could shoot. Will that work? Whoops, yeah, it did. So I can fire a flower. That's pretty cool. I do remember this. I had like a Technic set. Not the one with the figures, but an upscale Technic set. What would be the Technic that you guys have now, the cards and stuff. And it was a big thing like this, so there's no figure or anything that could sit on it. That was one of the wheels. So, you know, just to give you an idea of how big it was. So it was quite a big bike. And I remember my parents buying that for me. And that must have been when I was a teenager, actually. Because I remember being like, oh, grown-up Lego. And I built it, and I was like, so underwhelmed, because it was just a bike. I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't sit anybody on it. I couldn't play with my other stuff with it. It was too outscaled for playing with any other Lego. So it was just to put on display. And I remember thinking at the age of, or even probably 12, 13 or whatever it was at the time, I remember thinking, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Just sitting on the shelf. So Lego up until that point was not for display. People didn't display sets. Even if there was adults at that point buying Lego, nobody was displaying them. You build them and you play with them, and in most cases take them apart at the end of the day. I don't know anybody from that generation who would build a Lego set and just leave it built. But yeah, so I had this bike thing, and I was just a bit like boring. So I think my parents got the hint on that one, because I don't remember getting any others. This is might be actually pretty handy for when me and Kirsty do like a wedding thing. Just do like 2 minifigures to sit on the cake with a trellis over the top. It's got like the love hearts and stuff in it. This might be a parody set, actually, from the parody set. I don't know what the hell this is. I mean, I've seen it before. I think it's like a hammock or something, but this isn't. Is it even Lego? It doesn't look like it connects to anything. Oh yeah, it does connect into a tyre. Oh, that's not what it would normally connect into, but it does fit the system. So, yeah. Oh, little pilot rowboat as well. Back in the day. Repurchased this recently at Bricktastic. It's one of the first pirate sets I ever bought. I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, I bought it with my own money. Saved my pocket money and went around to Woolworths and bought my first a set for myself, and it was the pirate. There was just a pirate in there. There wasn't much. I think it was a cannon and a few bits and pieces on board, 2 oars, and a minifigure. And it came in like a little box. And I saw it at Bricktastic, and I went with the intention, rather than buying a big set or a set that's just going to go in the pile, I wanted to buy, just for display purposes and nostalgic purposes, I wanted to buy a space, a pirate, and or a castle set, a small set, because obviously I don't want to have a massive set, and I wanted to keep it in the box, or keep it with the box on my display shelf. So I was looking for some like really small, kind of what would now be like not a poly bag, but probably a microfighter style size build at the time, but they were just classed as small sets then. So it was like small, medium, large. You didn't have like all the different things you got now and thousands of pieces. It was like you know, a 20-piece set, 50-piece set, and 100-piece set. That was about it. But yeah, I wanted to buy one of each, and I think the castle ones were far too expensive, or they were sealed. So they were expensive because they were sealed, and I didn't really care about anything sealed because I was going to open it anyway. But I found a pirate set and a space set that I had from when I was a kid. Was it a space set? I can't actually remember now. I packed it away at Bricktastic and I haven't had a chance to put it out yet, but one of each of those sets, and yeah, got them. Yeah, and this was so this is the actual original set, and I've rebought it complete. Oh, ooh, cool ambulance tile. Right, I've just realised how late it is. How long have I been streaming? I need to I've been streaming over an hour. That's fine. I did say about an hour, so I need to finish up and I need to go to bed. It's been quite interesting though, looking through some of these parts from back in the day. Hopefully you guys, if you watched it or if you're watching this on replay, enjoyed this little sort of go back in time and remember some of this stuff. Now we'll have to look up how those electronic pieces worked. If I got a 9-volt battery kicking about anywhere, might even see if they still work. I'm gonna doubt it, but it's worth a try. So there we go, guys. Oh, no worries, mate. Try and get some rest. I've got a few of those doors at night. Good night, Lewis. Thanks, mate. So yeah, guys, if you're still out there and you're still watching, I know there's only a couple of you watching now. If you haven't subscribed, please go and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I have got to, drum roll, fingers crossed, have a little look to see if we've gained any extra subscribers. If we haven't, unfortunately, gonna have to take some pieces off. I never thought, as I started like trying to push for 1,000 subscribers, I would actually take pieces off. That doesn't mean we've lost subscribers as such, or we have, but we've lost off what we've gained. So we started at 311 and we got to 323. So we gained 12 yesterday, but unfortunately we've lost a couple since then and we've gained a few more. So in terms of actually people pressing the subscribe button, I think it works out about 25, 26. But because we've had a couple lost, it's less than that now, so we're gonna have to have a little look and check. So on 319, so we did gain an extra one because it went right down to 317. It went up to went from 311 up to 322, 323 just as we finished the stream. Then it went back to 317 within an hour. And alright, it's bizarre why and how that happened. And then between yesterday and today we've gained, I think we went up to 319 earlier today, and it went back to 318. Now it's back to 319. I don't know what the hell's going on, but either way, we've only gained 8 subscribers since we started doing this push for 1k, but I've got 11 pieces. So do I take pieces off so that there's one piece for every subscriber? I don't think I'm really going to be able to keep a count once I get to like 80, 90, 100 pieces anyway. But I am going to be able to count better from 311. So when we get like 50 or 60 pieces in, I'm not going to know. So I'm thinking the best thing to do is take those pieces back off and only build them when we've made the thing, so that when the set is finally finished, the amount of pieces is a representation of what we were compared to what we are now, if that makes sense. So anyway, there's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces on here, but we only deserve 8. So I've got to take 3 off. So I'm going to take off this, open this. So we're taking these 3 pieces off, put them back on the bar plot, so we're down to 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where we're up to. Again, this is still this many subscribers more than when I started this thing, but it is sad that I've had to take pieces off, so that's a bummer, but it is what it is. You know, I should have considered that a little bit more when I decided to do this, so and yeah, maybe Wednesday nights aren't good nights, because normally I would normally I like to think we would have gained a couple of extra during the live stream like we did yesterday, but I don't know. No bites tonight, unfortunately. I think this who's going live tonight? Oh right, so whoever Studs is, I'm not even sure who that is, but he's live right now. He's got 198 people watching. Oh well, he's got 415k subscribers, so I'm not surprised. Oh, okay, so he does. Oh, he doesn't even have that many. He's only done 6 live streams ever. How the hell's he done that? Oh, he does lots of shorts. Yeah, he does a lot of short stuff. That's fair enough. See, mine's the other way around. If you go on my live stream tab, it's like masses and masses. But this guy makes lots of short and medium form, building like it's all like kiddies type stuff. So that's probably why he's got all the kids subscribed to him. Nothing interesting here for kids, fortunately. But it looks quite funny. I like some of his stuff. Not my kind of thing, but it does look funny. You can see why people are entertained by that. But yeah, I don't actually know who that is. Who is Studs? I don't ever remember subscribing to him. But yeah, looks good. Who else is live at the moment? Just want to try and send you guys to someone else. I know that ACOB on the beard, Bricking with the Beard. What time are they on? They are on at 1 AM. Oh, they're on in like 17 minutes. So I'll go over there and give them a quick like. They've got they're celebrating their 200th show tonight, and they've got the Cowboys on, Sean and Brent, as well as Shy Times, My Time, and who else have they got? They haven't got much in their description, so I can't really tell. Oh, Camel City Bricks. He's just one of the regular guys. I don't know. It's worth going to check that out. They're celebrating 200 shows. Yeah, Rich did fair play. He was 2 years running now. He's been part of the 48 Hour charity stream, so those guys did a stream for us as well. That was cool to watch. And I got a chance to pop onto their show as well, so I was invited to go on that show actually a while back, but last minute something came up with work and I had to be in work early, so I couldn't stay up till early hours to jump on the show, so I ended up having to postpone or cancel on Rich. I never got the call to go back, so I guess, when people let you down like that, it can be a little bit frustrating, so But yeah, so there's nobody live at the moment, but if you wait like 15 minutes, Bearded Bricks is going to be live, so you can go check those guys out. And I am going to bed. So thanks guys for watching. If you're still out there, appreciate you. Come back tomorrow. I'm not going to guarantee what time I'll be I'll be going live for two reasons. One is because my schedule is going to vary, particularly when I go back to work. But also for the same reason, while I'm off work, I'm just going to make use of time, and I don't want to be up late every night. Tomorrow I may just do it in the middle of the day. It might be easier to get more subscribers on board if I try different timelines. So I've done 2 evenings now and they've been okay. Yesterday was better than today, but gotta try some different times to see what the best time is for me. And of course, even if you find a good time, it might be different the next day anyway. So there's a lot of trial and error to find out what's going to work for us, but hopefully after about a week or so of doing this, the algorithm is going to pick up on what we're interested in and what we're about and what we're trying to do here, and hopefully help me to push it a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I think I probably need to do like a build stream or something as well. But yeah, thanks guys for watching, appreciate you all, and I will see you at tomorrow's live stream. If I will see you at tomorrow's. Just noticed another comment come in. Did you get to finish the build? No, Hive. I had to take pieces off it because I figured, even though we have gained subscribers since yesterday, because we also lost some, I was trying to figure out the best way to do it, and I know we started on 311, and if I started being like, well, actually since I started yesterday when we were on 311, we've actually gained 25 subscribers, but because we've also lost some subscribers, it actually means it actually means I couldn't. It's really confusing because it went up by 12, then went down by 6, then went up by a couple, then went down by a couple, then went up by a couple. It's just all been all over the place in the last like 24 hours. So, ultimately, I think to try and track that and be like, well, how many of those are new subscribers? Could it be the same person unsubscribing and resubscribing? Because I know some people do that. They hit the button not realizing they've already whatever. So I thought, rather than get confused by all of that, it's just easier for me to use 311 as my starting point, and the amount of pieces I put on the set should be a representation of how many subscribers. It is going to be hard. Like at the moment, I can look at the build and see, right, there's 11 parts on there because we had 11 subscribers yesterday. But obviously, once I start filling the set out, I'm not going to be able to go, wait, how many pieces I put on now? So that's the bit I didn't consider, because if I'm like, I don't know, 72 pieces in, and then all of a sudden the subscriber count goes down and then back up and then back down again, I'm not going to be able to keep track of what I'm taking off and what I'm putting on. So at the moment, I just thought, well, the total now is 319, and we started on 311, which is 8. So the ones we've gained minus the ones we've lost equals 8. So I have to take pieces off to get it from 11 down to 8, because I think that's the only way I can do it. I just honestly didn't expect to gain 12 subscribers yesterday during the live stream, but I just assumed there would be somewhere in the middle where there would just be a couple here, a couple there, just keep adding pieces, and then maybe during the live stream I could, add, people would pop on, I'd be like, oh yeah, subscribe, boom, another piece on, and just have fun in between. But I never suspected it to be like nothing and then a jump and then a jump back, because that doesn't really work. But it was worth experimenting with anyway. Like I said, it's only day 2. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring. And the weekends are better when it comes to stuff like this anyway. So Friday nights tend to be better. So I will see what happens. And of course, I'm going to try some different times. Try going at like I don't know, middle of the day, morning, afternoon, not just late at night for me. So, but anyway, I'm going to sign off. Thanks everybody. Check you guys out tomorrow. Keep checking back on the YouTube channel. I'm not, at the moment, I'm not scheduling any of these. I'm just kind of going live as and when. Just because, why not? But eventually I might have to start. I might start, you know, if things don't pick up a little bit after like a week of doing this, I might start scheduling it. And then at least then I can maybe get some viewership come across from places like Instagram. But like most of those people would be subscribed anyway, so we'll see how it goes. Right, thanks guys, good night, and see you next time. Liz.